Hey, so Apple just wrapped up their September 2025 awe-dropping event, and there were a lot of new changes and additions in their lineup. It was probably one of the most action-packed Apple events in my recent memory. So here's everything that's new in under 10 minutes. So Apple had three big parts: the new AirPods Pro 3, a full Apple Watch lineup refresh, and the new iPhones, which is probably the biggest. We had the iPhone 17, and then the super thin iPhone Air, and then the Pro and the Pro Max. So the pre-orders start Friday, and then most things arrive on the September 19th. So for the AirPods Pro 3, these look like the biggest AirPods update in a few years. Apple claimed like a much stronger noise canceling, wider sound stage, clearer vocals. They also talked a lot about the new ear design and tips. So there are 5 sizes now, and it also has better seal, better comfort, better stability. Two features really stood out to me. First, heart rate sensing in the earbuds. That's pretty clever. If you go on walks or work out without a watch, you should still get the heart rate and calories in the fitness app. Second was the live translation in your ears. The demo we saw felt pretty natural. You speak, your iPhone shows, and you can speak the translation. If both people wear AirPods, it flows back and forth. Real world performance really will depend on the languages, the noise, and data on the phone, and maybe testing it in person, but the idea is really strong. So the battery claims were 8 hours with active noise canceling on, 10 hours in transparency, which is better than before. The price is the same, $249. My only caution would be the foam infused tips and the twice the ANC claims. They're pretty big claims. You might want to actually wait for the reviews, see what people are actually saying, the reviewers are actually saying. If you already have AirPods Pro 2 and you're happy, there isn't really much of a reason to upgrade, but again, you want to wait for the reviews before you really make any decisions. For the Apple Watch Series 11, it's the default watch for most people. It will be. Apple pretty much pushed these 3 ideas. It was the tougher glass, the 5G onboard, and the health features, the more serious health features. The big one is the hypertension notifications. It uses trends over the days to flag possible high blood pressure, and it can nudge you to go see a doctor. The second is a sleep score that explains your night in like a simpler term or simpler terms. It tells you what to adjust. Helps with better sleep. It also has a 24-hour battery life. That matters because the sleep tracking only works if you can have it available the next morning. On paper, for $399, it's decent probably, but you want to again wait for the reviews. There's a lot of claims out there that could be exaggerated or maybe not even true in the truest sense. So the Apple Watch SE3 was next. SE stays the budget pick, but no longer really feels as basic as previous versions. Has the always on display, the S10 chip, faster performance, faster charging. Battery target is still all day, 18 hours. New health signals have things like wrist temperature, sleep apnea notifications, and the same sleep score that I mentioned. This is the watch I'd recommend to first-time buyers or kids or parents with kids. It has all the necessary things without needing to be so expensive. At $249, it looks like a strong value. My only concern would be, some of the new features, if that really affects the battery life and usage, like AOD and the health features. I don't know, we'll have to see. Now the Apple Watch Ultra 3, this is like for the athletes and the extreme people. It's a bigger display, it's easier to read at certain angles, there's 5G, and the headline is kind of the satellite support for SOS and location in supported regions. The battery's up to 42 hours, so for like extreme sports, you get a lot more time to be able to use it. It's still like the big rugged watch. It's not really for light wear, average wear. If you want the extreme Apple Watch, this is the one to get. So the iPhone 17, this is the phone that most people will probably be looking for when they get a new phone. The screen is now 6.3 inches and it finally gets the 120 Hz ProMotion and always on mode. The big number on the brightness was 3000 nits outdoors. This should help a lot with the direct sun. There's also the new Ceramic Shield 2, which is much more durable and has less micro scratches, which is kind of a small thing you might notice or might not. Cameras also get a bunch of changes. The main camera is 48 megapixels, and Apple kind of leaned into a clean 2x look using the center of the sensor. The ultra wide is also 48 megapixels now, which should help detail and macros. The front camera is a whole new center stage system with a wider square sensor and auto framing. You can grab a landscape selfie without rotating the iPhone, and it should stabilize handheld video better. This is kind of an underrated quality upgrade for FaceTime and videos on your phone. Inside is the A19 chip. Apple also bumped the base storage to 265 gigs, which finally matches how people shoot video and keep apps. The faster wired charging was a nice surprise, 50% in 20 minutes. Apple also said 10 minutes of charge will give you up to 8 hours of video playback, which is crazy. You want to actually wait for the tests to see if that is fully true. The price stays. Again, they're keeping the old price of $799. If you're from a 13 or a 14, you might see some differences, but maybe wait for the comparison and reviews to actually see if there is a big difference. Maybe stay subscribed to see my review on that. For the iPhone Air, this is kind of the wow moment of this event. It's an insanely thin 5.6 millimeter phone, ceramic shield, titanium frame, 6.5 inch display with ProMotion and always on, and has 3000 nits just like the others. It runs the A19 Pro. It is eSIM only worldwide, but that's like not really a big issue considering how impressive this phone is. Apple also says that it has an all-day battery in this super thin phone, which is again crazy. They also showed a new slim MagSafe battery that keeps the whole package pocket friendly. With that attached, Apple quoted up to 40 hours of video playback. If that holds up, it's like a great phone for maybe traveling or for people who want to keep it light. At $999, it sits right between the regular 17 and the Pro, and I think it's a great option. We have to again see how it actually performs. My worries might be heat and durability on such a thin phone, and packing all that in. Also maybe the durability, we'll have to see, but again, nevertheless, it is pretty impressive. The 17 Pro and the Pro Max, these are the performance and camera beasts as always. The design moved to an aluminum unibody with a vapor chamber for better performance. Apple said up to 40% better sustained performance than last year's Pro, which matters for gaming, video editing, and on-device AI. Ceramic Shield 2 is again on the front and the back. Ceramic Shield now, which Apple says is 4 times more crack resistant than the previous back glass. The large batteries plus the new thermal system led to pretty much Apple's best battery life claim on the Pro Max. If you care about battery, this does look like a big jump, but again, wait for the battery tests. The camera story is big. All 3 rear cameras are 48 megapixel now. Telephoto reaches 4x and 8x optical quality. Apple also mentioned a larger sensor for the telephoto and updated stabilization, which should help sharpness at long focal lengths. Digital zoom is 40x now, but I treat that as a bonus, not a real proper tool. The front camera gets the center stage system, and the handheld talking should be a lot better now. It hasn't been great. For creators, 2 key additions: ProRes RAW capture and Genlock support via accessories makes it kind of easier to make videos. Base storage is 256 gigs and the Pro Max goes up to 2 terabytes. The pricing is $1099 and $1199 for the Pro and the Pro Max. Apple showed a new look called Liquid Glass across iOS and watchOS. It's more fluid and glossy. It also seems easier to read. Apple Intelligence keeps spreading across the system. The big theme was useful AI that runs on the device as much as possible. Live translation shows up in phone, FaceTime, messages, and AirPods. My take, this feels less like flashy AI demos from some of the other companies and some stuff that might actually be useful, but again, not big improvements that you would actually want to upgrade your phone over. So the AirPods 3 and the Apple Watch SE 3 are both $249, and the Apple Watch Series 11 is $399. You can pre-order them right now on the website. The iPhone 17 is $799 for $256, and it goes up. The iPhone Air is $999 for $256, goes up. 17 Pro starts at $1099 for $256 and goes up. 17 Pro Max starts at $1199 and goes up to 2 terabytes. And the pre-orders for those start this Friday, September 12th, 5 a.m. Pacific, and they arrive September 19th. All of these arrive on the 19th. So to recap, I think this was probably one of Apple's most everyday practical events in a while. A lot less buzzwords and a lot less, AI stuff, and a lot more of the actual improvements and additions and new products like the iPhone Air. I think I'd still wait for the reviews if you're really looking to upgrade to any of these devices. So yeah, thanks for watching. We're going to have a lot more videos coming up these next few months, wrapping up 2025, where a lot of the tech devices are released. We're going to have phone reviews, comparisons, things like that. So stay subscribed, put your notifications on, stay tuned, whatever you need to do, and I'll catch you in the next one.